Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the Beast of the Mesozoic, Aquilobator giganticus from the Creative Beast Studio. This is a 1/18 scale dinosaur, fully posable, beautifully painted. It looks really, really cool. I really like how this guy turned out. I was very excited to get this. I am very excited for the Cyberzoic line that Creative Beast Studio is doing. But this guy gets a different colorway in that line. But I don't like to have, you know, multiple army builders, if you will, that are the same color. So I got this colorway. I got an extra set of armor coming from Cyberzoic, which is going to end up on this guy eventually. And so very much looking forward to that. But this came out first, so I thought, you know, why not get this one? And then I can kind of like, you know, pre-build my dinosaur army for Cyberzoic. We'll get this guy out of the package in a minute, but first let's take a closer look at the packaging. The packaging looks great. This is some of their newer packaging. It doesn't have the sleeve that slides off. This has, you know, the more sort of integration in terms of how the box art, you know, is sort of fit in. We get this cool art on the side there, which I suspect is probably going to be the same art that we see on the card that should be included in here as well. A nice big window box where you can see the dino as well as the big, huge feathery tail there. This is, of course, the Aquilobator giganticus. On the back, we get cross-sell for other figures in the line. And we get, you know, a little bit more about the Aquilobator, some stats about the dinosaur, calling out some of the features on the action figure here. Also noting some assembly required, more on that in a minute, but there is the box. The box is fine. The box is great. You know, the figure looks great in the box. If you're an in-box collector, these are going to present really well. But I am an opener. I open everything. So let's get this guy out of the box. So the Aquilobator comes in 2 pieces out of the box, which means that you need to attach the tail to the body. Now, the best way to do that is to heat up the tail. What I found is hot water works best. In just a couple of minutes in hot water, and this thing will be soft enough that it'll pop right on to the ball joint. And away you go. All right, so here's the Aquilobator out of the package, and it's beautiful. I mean, the paint apps, the design, the sculpt, all of it works really well. As I said, it kind of looks like a turkey. You know, he's got that kind of bald head, and then the feathers, that tuft of feathers around the neck as well. It's kind of a simple paint scheme, I guess. You know, it's mostly black, but there's nothing simple about the black. There's a lot of variation, and it might not translate, you know, in the video, but you know, you get grays and there's little hits where it's almost white. And it just looks really good. You can see every little bit of the sculpt. All the feathers really stand out because of the paint that's going on there. Sort of a dry brush or whatever, you know, whatever they're doing at the factory is working. It looks absolutely stunning. And very nice. The nails are all nice and glossy. The eyes are fairly glossy as well. So you get a good contrast between sort of the matte of the feathers and the skin and the gloss of some of the other bits. The articulation is fantastic, and I you know, I would want to heat this guy up a bit more. I added a little bit of heat to get a general idea of the articulation and to sort of get him posed into a position where, you know, he looked good on the desk, but I haven't pushed it too far. But you've got, you know, articulation in the jaw, articulation at the base of the head, articulation in the neck, and then at the base of the neck, you know, the torso, this sort of, if it's a torso, I don't know if that's the correct anatomical name, but there's a joint there. You know, the tail is segmented to have a little bit of articulation. The end bit, the big wide feathery bit, looks beautiful, and that is, of course, a bendy wire in there So you'll be able to pose that tail really nice. Rotation at the hip, a joint at the knee, at the other knee, and a hinge for the foot, as well as rotation there. So yeah, my only, it's right here. My only criticism, my only sort of nitpick is that this thing moves around quite a bit. So you got to just be mindful that, it kind of moves while you're playing with it. These are going to get played with. It's a little loose. I don't know if there would be a way to fix that, though, if I'm being perfectly honest, in terms of getting that to fit nicely without impeding articulation or anything like that. I just don't know. And so I think that floating piece is sort of the best that we could sort of expect for what's going on there. But anyway, as I said, it doesn't really bother me. It just does sort of come out of place a little bit every once in a while. But yeah, absolutely beautiful, beautiful paint, beautiful sculpt. Really, really excited about this guy. And, can't wait to get him posed up and sort of on the shelf for play. This guy also comes with a couple accessories, so let's take a look at the accessories. First, we get this card, and the Beasts of the Mesozoic is known for having these, so it's the full art that we get on the box on the front. And then on the back, of course, we get all that information that that you want, the length, weight, location, time period, all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool. These are fun. Like, who knew that we would get dinosaur trading cards effectively with our toys? But that's pretty cool. I'll put that right there. We get some alternate feet. Now, these feet have the toes up, whereas those feet have the toes down. So that's the difference. If I put that next to that one, you can sort of make out the difference there. But kind of cool. I mean, I'm used to getting action figures that have extra hands to sort of add emotion and sort of some dynamic action. Feet is a bit of a new one for me. Then we get bases, and we get two different bases in this case. We get the base that Beast of the Mesozoic has been doing, unpainted. So this is just in a clear plastic. And I went ahead and put the rod in there. But then I'll put that one sort of to the back, because the other one that we get is the new one. And so this is, two pieces for the base, and then you have the adapters depending on sort of how you want to use it. But there's two positions, and this is all in the instructions. The instructions, come with the figure as well there. But there's sort of a low height position and then a high height position. And so how that works is there's a sort of notched bar here, I guess. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. Just watch, I guess, and you'll sort of understand what I mean. So the bar slides in at a 90-degree angle, and then you rotate it, and then it locks it into place. Like, it's super simple, very, very elegant. If you want to adjust the height, you just rotate it, drop it, rotate it again. If you rotate it and sort of put it on the base the other way, you can get a lower position. So I guess relative to the Aquilabator, that's about up to his knee if you go that way. And then if you go the other way, it's a little bit higher, right? So that's just gives you different options. You can sort of have it positioned low enough that it's going to get under the torso in a low position, or if you want them sort of standing up taller, you just adjust it. Super, super cool. Then along with the bases, I guess, we get adapter pieces. So depending on where you're going to position the figure in relation to the base, you're going to need, one or a combination of these. That bit changes the angle. These two bits will cradle the figure. I'm finding that he's fairly well balanced, though, and you've got the wings, the arms, I guess, they're not wings, he doesn't fly, but you've got the feathered arms that if you do need to get him a little bit lower, the arms will support the weight, but he's not actually, leaning on the arms there. or the tail. He's currently balanced on 2 feet, so he seems decently balanced. I think long term, you know, once you get him in a pose that you like, get him on the base, and then that way he's not going anywhere at all. I think that's probably the way to go. You know, the safest way to keep him from tumbling off the shelf. But yeah, just an absolutely awesome action figure. Super, super cool. And I'm going to get him a little bit more posed up, and then I'm going to do a little bit of comparison and show him with a couple other figures. All right, so some comparison with a couple other dinos that I've got. First of all, this is the Beasts of the Mesozoic Xenoceratops, who is a big boy, but I mean, he's certainly, the Aquilabator is, you know, about mid-height on him. I've got a Hammond collection Ankylosaurus, and they're not too far off height-wise. The Aquilabator is a little bit taller, obviously slimmer, but, you know, there's a pretty decent size comparison for a couple different things. But really what I'm curious about, what I'm excited about is, the comparison between an Aquilabator and a 1/18th scale human. As I said at the beginning, I'm really excited to get some armor on this guy from the Cyberzoic line. So with a 1/18th scale human, that's this is a Joy Toy figure, but you know, roughly the size and scale of the humans that we should see in Cyberzoic. You know, he's right around head height, which is really, really cool. Excited to get the armor on there, you know, and to have people riding on the backs of these. I don't, you know, this is not a great comparison of what the Cyberzoic figures are necessarily going to look like. They're not going to sit this clumsily on the back of the Aquilabator, but there you go. That sort of idea of what may be in for the future with these dinos. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get the Cyberzoic in hand. In the meantime, though, I think the Beast of the Mesozoic stuff is pretty good. Is a pretty good thing to pass the time, to sort of to whet my appetite as well. So very much looking forward to the other version of the Aquilabator. But to be perfectly honest, like, this version is pretty awesome. A very, very nice figure, and one that I would very strongly recommend you guys get out and pre-order now, or order now. I mean, depending on when you're watching this might be in stock. I picked this guy up at Joe Fest, and my understanding was they had a few there, but the full shipment hasn't arrived yet. But yeah, definitely go out and grab one of these. And while you're there, you may as well do yourself a favor and get the Utah Raptor as well. I'm going to do a video for this guy pretty soon as well, and that should get posted in the near future, so stay tuned for that one. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you don't want to miss future videos, hit that bell icon to get notifications. Till next time, bye-bye.